Hi there. 6:01 on this Friday morning. Today is the final day of bargaining for public school teachers ahead of next week's rotating strikes. And the BC Teachers Federation is now slamming the Premier after receiving a letter from its employer threatening instructors with a lockout at the end of June. For more on this, Greg Harper is live at BCTF headquarters in Vancouver. Greg.
Good morning, Kyle. This is a labor dispute that's getting heated. It's starting to get personal as well. There were several occasions here yesterday at the BCTF headquarters where the president called this labor dispute as being Christy Clark's lockout. Now, the president of the BCTF, Jim Eicher, was responding to a letter the BCTF received from the BC Public School Employers Association. In it, the government informs the union that secondary school teachers will be locked out on June 25th, 26th, this followed by a general lockout on the 27th. Eicher says this means exams being marked and final grades being issued is in jeopardy, but the government's chief negotiator says the lockout will not have that impact.
They seem to be putting more energy into ways to attack us and threaten us than ways to find an agreement. And we're hoping that, with the next stage, that they will change their ways, come to the table, bargain in good faith, bring the funding to that table, and let's get a deal that's fair for teachers and provides better supports for students, because that is critical.
Barring something miraculous happening at the bargaining table today, it looks as though we're headed to phase 2 of the teachers' job action that'll start next week. That means rotating strikes. Now, if that happens, so will a limited lockout, and it also will mean that teachers' salaries will be rolled back by 10%. The BCTF says it's taking that to the Labor Relations Board. It's messy. Kyle?
We'll see what happens beginning Monday. Greg Harper live for us in Vancouver. Greg, thanks for that. By the way, again, Monday marking the first day of rotating strikes by the province's public school teachers. Here's a look at the 16 districts where classes will not be in session because of picketing. Here in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver, New Westminster, and Mission schools will not be open for business. For the full list, you can visit news1130.com. Next week's potential school lockout has left many extracurricular activities in doubt, including grade 12 students on the verge of a big achievement. There's plenty of concern around the province surrounding grad ceremonies, but members of the BC Parent Advisory Councils are hopeful the events will go ahead, teachers or not. That likely means more support than usual from parents and volunteers.
On the plus side, one could argue that this is democracy at work. It's not easy, but so far people have been fairly honest, and that's what we really want.
The Public School Employers Association says a lockout will not prevent teachers from attending grad ceremonies if they wish. Charges have been approved against a woman accused of attacking 3 children on a bus in Langley on Tuesday, and part of their dispute was all caught on camera. 43-year-old Lee McKay has been charged with assault with a weapon, and with uttering threats. Witnesses say the fight began after a woman threw coffee on a baby and started threatening a mother and her children. The mother had apparently asked the woman to stop swearing in front of her children. RCMP say no one was. Migrants arrived in Cole Harbour hoping for better life. Most were refused entry in one of the most shameful chapters in Vancouver's history. Today's centennial plans have been complicated by graffiti at Vancouver's Komagata Maru Memorial. Someone spray painted it, including a homophobic message. The Vancouver Park Board got the paint off, but as a result, the rust panel was left faded. It's not clear if the vandal or vandals even realized what this memorial represents.
The discussion and the dialogue and the work still needs to continue on afterwards. So even after May 23rd, what happens then? And that's where education comes in terms of making all Canadians aware about the story of the Komagata Maru and how important it is to all Canadians and the story of this country.
The Komagata Maru incident highlighted Canada's racist immigration policies towards Asians. 376 Indians were on board the ship. After a 2-month standoff, only 24 were allowed to stay. A riot started when the vessel returned to India with British soldiers shooting and killing 19 people. A Surrey mother who was beaten to death on New Year's Eve outside the Newton Hockey Arena is going to be honored at a benefit concert in Vancouver tonight. The event is being put on by local musician Johnny DeMarco and Julie Pascal's husband, Al, almost 5 months after the tragedy. Proceeds will go to Variety, the children's charity, which has been an important organization for the Pascal family. The concert kicks off at the Wise Hall. Doors open at 8 o'clock. No arrests have been made in Julie Pascal's death. A very close call for a baby in China who took a tumble off a second-story balcony. The video is dramatic, but we can tell you the baby is okay. You can actually see the moment a street vendor catches the 1-year-old who was apparently looking for his mother. Wow. When the baby climbed out onto the ledge of a balcony, a man runs across the road and holds out his arms. People in the area were also seen gathering up cardboard and a sofa in the hope of breaking the infant's fall.